Hello, Assalamu alaikum, everybody. Hope you're all safe, sound, and healthy. And as it will always be in the middle of the night, thoughts, random thoughts, which are not so random, run through your mind as you revisit the world, as you revisit life, as you revisit religion, as you revisit God and His purpose of making us and making this world. And as you think about how everybody is sharing about what's going on in Palestine, but nobody's doing anything. And here I want to say something to the agnostics and the atheists and everybody who believe that they are secular and that they don't believe in religion. I'm sorry to say, but they are the worst of them all at this point, because for people who claim that they do not believe in God, or they do not believe in the existence of God, or they do not believe in religion because of this exact very reason. Yeah, this is one of the major reasons that they quote, that they cannot believe that such a God exists who could allow such things to happen. And thus God does not exist. So then why aren't you taking responsibility then? As people living in a world where God does not exist, why aren't you taking responsibility for speaking up and for speaking out? Why aren't you doing something more to the point? Because, okay, those of us who believe in God, we have at least an excuse for not doing much. But you do not even believe in God. Why are you doing nothing? If only on a purely humanitarian basis. The fact that you actually diss the whole religious ideas, you diss religion, you diss faith, you diss the existence of God, and then you sit on your haunches as you watch genocide being committed in the name of religion, no less. The very reason, again, the very, very reason why you decided that there cannot be a God, because there cannot be such a cruel entity that can allow such a thing to happen. So there is definitely no God. So again, I ask you this. Why are you the ones who are the most silent? You were silent when it happened in Bosnia. You were silent when it happened in Myanmar. You were silent when it's been happening in India. You were silent throughout Palestine. Explain to me why. What's the logic behind that? Oh, suddenly religion is now what? You believe in religion now? You believe in the Zionists? You believe in their motives? What is it? Because again, it was the Christians who persecuted the Jews in Europe. And it was the Christians who threw the Jews out of Europe. And it was the Muslims who gave them refuge. And right now, the Muslims are paying the price for giving refuge to these same very Jews who claim to have been persecuted, who claim to have been victims of the Holocaust. Explain that to me. Because let me tell you, the real victims of the Holocaust, they're not even with the Zionists. So why are you people talking about Zionists defending their cause? Those real victims of the Holocaust do not even agree with the Zionists. They do not even agree with the whole idea of Israel. They do not even agree with the whole meaning behind this whole baseless war. They especially do not like the fact that the very people that gave them refuge, the very Muslims that helped them when these same Christians, who now claim to be their besties, were the ones persecuting them, that these now Muslims who saved them, who gave them a safe place to live, who gave them refuge, are now being attacked by their own fellow men, the Jews. Imagine what they feel. So again, these are the kind of thoughts that come. I think you are the biggest hypocrites. The agnostics, the atheists, the secularists, the faithless. I think you are worse than the people of faith here. At this very point, I can prove it right now with your silence, with your grand hypocrisy, where you have done the least, given the fact that you don't believe in a God, you have done the least for humanity. You're basically bloody hypocrites. In fact, this is the kind of things that we say to people of faith when they do not do anything and we tell them that, oh, you're faithless. You're faithless. That's why you're not doing anything. And yet you claim that it should be the opposite, that those who have faith are the ones behind all the chaos in the world. So why aren't you stepping forward and stopping those people of faith? Why? Suddenly you respect faith now? You respect the people of faith now? What? You respect Judaism? You respect their belief in an existence of a weird Zionist God? Now that is a God that doesn't exist, but okay. What is it? What is it that you actually are now bringing to the table, as people who do not believe in the existence of God? What have you brought to the table right now as humanity is going through one of its biggest, most long-lasting crises? Are you helping the Palestinians? Are you helping them fight for their rights? Are you raising your voice for them? Are you doing something about toppling your own governments now that you've realized that your own governments have been behind this whole BS? And that this was a centuries-old plan unfolding, a centuries-old plan formed and formulated by your own governments, the Western governments. Those same governments who promoted your secularism. But at the same time, weirdly, oddly enough, those same governments suddenly decided God existed when they were fighting against the communists. Because what is it that you have in common with the communists? Do you even know what motivated the people, your own people, and how your governments motivated you to go against the communists? Religion. I thought you guys were secular. I thought you guys were atheists. How is it that you conformed so readily to your government when they talked about religion and they talked about how communists were a danger to the people of faith and that their fight was a crusade? And why did you again rally behind your President Bush when he decided to do a huge false flag operation called the 9/11 and then decided to blame the Muslims? And then not even the Muslims, he blamed Saudi. But hey presto, Saudi doesn't get attacked. No, Afghanistan gets attacked, Iraq gets attacked, Pakistan gets looped into this whole war on terror, and Pakistan ends up with millions dead. So explain again to me, why did you rally behind President Bush when he called it a crusade? These were the very words he used. Crusade is a religious term. For your information, the jihad that you people fear so much, yeah, the English word for jihad is crusade. How did you think that the concept of jihad was any different from the concept of crusade? It is one singular concept of a monotheistic religion. Whether you're Jews or Christians or Muslims, because essentially it's the same religion given in steps, in phases. The last 3 phases towards the completion of the religion were Judaism, Christianity, and then the final seal, Islam. It's one God. It's the same message given in steps, given in phases. The completion, the seal is Islam. And so, yes, jihad is not an alien concept and it's not just a Muslim concept. You literally have a term for it in your own language, and it's called a crusade. So you Christians decided to wage a crusade against Muslims because you were scared of the Muslims' belief in jihad. Wrap that around your head for a moment. Is that how gullible, how naive we all are? I mean, I shouldn't even say we, because this is really mainly addressed again to the Western public, or the mass, the public in general that is of the Western world, even if they're not Caucasians, but they've been, assimilated into the Western culture. And so they have decided to believe all these, they're drinking the Kool-Aid. How is it that you're drinking that Kool-Aid? Do you even know what it is that you people are doing? Do you even know what it is that you're thinking? Do you even know what your governments are thinking? The whole world seems to know it except you people. This is my pet peeve with the public of the Western world. It's my greatest pet peeve when it comes to the current affairs, when it comes to history, when it comes to reality, when it comes to fact checking, when it comes to general knowledge. The whole world knows something, but Europeans and Americans, they're absolutely kaput. Kaput, they're zero, zilch. They know nothing. They're just too busy drinking the Kool-Aid. They don't even know the difference between Pakistan and Afghanistan, because their governments very cleverly loopholed Pakistan as a partner in their crusade, in their war on terror, and yet they kept dissing Pakistan. Like literally, they took Pakistan as a partner in arms on their war on terror. But throughout that point, they made sure to make the Western public think that Pakistan was also the enemy. And people started saying, oh, Pakistan is Afghanistan, oh, Afghanistan is Pakistan. You literally forgot the fact that Pakistan is a South Asian country. Like, are you such dimwits? Are you that naive? How stupid does one have to be, seriously? No, really. How stupid does one have to be? How ignorant does one have to be that you are on a university level student? You are a university level student and you do not know the difference between Pakistan and Afghanistan. Especially when you have millions of Pakistanis in your countries. Seriously. How do you not know? So yeah, I really have these questions that are very, very important. And I think it's, I've been asking these questions in many different ways. I've never got a single answer. And now I will specifically ask this question once again to the people who do not believe in the existence of God. What have you done then for humanity's sake? What is your contribution towards what's going on in Palestine? What is your contribution to what's been going on in Kashmir? What's your contribution to how governments in Pakistan, in Venezuela, and in other countries are being toppled so that they can serve your government's interests, or they should be colonized by your government again? Give me your take on this. Think about that. This is me signing out. Khuda Hafiz.